They may wear costumes, but it isn't Halloween. They're real-life superheroes.
If you watch Reviews on the Run on a regular basis, then you know that superheroes aren't necessarily my thing, but there was a superhero movie a couple years back that I really enjoyed. We both enjoyed it. It was called Kick-Ass, directed by Matthew Vaughn, who has gone on to do other things.
X-Men.
We've got the sequel now. It's Kick-Ass 2. We got a new director. We got a bigger cast. This is a bigger, busier movie. Victor Lucas, what'd you think?
The anticipation's killing me.
Well, I think that's exactly the right description for this film, is that they just decided, well, we need more heroes.
We need everything.
Me and Hit Girl were training every day. And there were more and more people joining us every night.
The first movie I thought was big enough. It was even a little more violent, and I was expecting to be more shocked by the violence in this movie, particularly coming off of the controversy that Jim Carrey was kind of pointing out about how violent it is. But it's actually a little tamer in most respects. Even though there is more superhero sort of action on screen, with more supervillain action on screen, it doesn't ever get to the sort of gooey, gory bits that I think the first Kick-Ass did. But it also doesn't elevate in terms of bubbly fun either. It's not quite as funny. There isn't quite as much lift.
It's not quite as poignant either.
No.
I still love the premise of people putting on these costumes and going, I mean, what is stopping us from becoming superheroes?
Well, this is happening.
The answer is nothing.
This is happening in real life.
We're putting an end to this costume freak. If they're wearing a mask, they're getting detained.
Now, we've moved away from focusing on Aaron Taylor Johnson's character of Kick-Ass in this one. We're focusing more on Hit Girl and Chloe Grace Moretz's character here, and I like that, but the struggles that she goes through, which is trying to leave some of her Hit Girl persona behind her and trying to assimilate into high school, you know, she sort of gets involved in this Mean Girls scenario that does feel a little overly familiar, and it doesn't feel like we're learning anything new really about this character. I mean, she's growing up. She's turning into a woman.
Hit Girl really is the kick-ass part of this movie, and I think a lot of it is grounded in her performance, but I also like Aaron Taylor Johnson as Kick-Ass. I think there's a lot of heart and soul in his work as well.
I like the fact that he's also able to put his ego aside and take more of a back seat in this film and let Chloe step up and be the star here.
Batman.
He really is the Robin in this movie.
Kick-Ass isn't a costume. It's who you really are.
The other person we have to talk about is Christopher Mintz-Plasse, who has gone from being a superhero to the world's first supervillain. We can't even say what his name is. This is a family-friendly show here.
The mother.
But I like all of these sidekicks that he hires here. He's got Genghis Carnage. He's got Mother Russia. This force of nature.
There are lots of great sequences in this movie, but I think the greenness of the director is kind of at play here, and also the fact that you know, this was kind of an unnecessary story or an unnecessary addition to the first movie. The first movie is a pretty terrific standalone piece. But all that being said, I had a really good time with this movie, and I love the music, and I was really shocked and impressed and surprised by Jim Carrey's performance. I think this is one of his strongest supporting roles that he's had in a long. He was terrific in this movie.
If you watch the trailers for Kick-Ass 2, he's the thing that ruins everything, or seemed to ruin everything. But in the context of the movie,
he's good.
You can't take your eyes off of him. I have no idea how he does the things that he does with his face.
He's so scary.
Colonel Stars and Stripes, reporting for duty.
This could have gone horribly wrong, though, and I think that's part of it. My expectations were pretty low, and I had a really good time.
I gotta tweet about this.
All right, well, let's put on our super reviewer costumes and weigh in with some scores. Victor Lucas?
I think it's an 8 for me. What are you giving it?
It's a 7.5 for me.